I accept it not as a film person, but more as a comedian, because I think at this time in world history, we've never needed comedians more. And I'm hungry.
Go Adamson.
I forgot the award. I'm sorry.
Izvinite, zaboravio sam nagradu od ovog svega.
Comedians often feel a bit more strongly about things than actors, because after all, comedians sort of create their own material. Actors very seldom do. And I think that makes them a little more comfortable with sticking their neck out. And I'm writing a show at the moment called Why There Is No Hope. And I go through all the reasons, mainly psychological, about realizations we now have about the way the human mind works. I mean, some evolutionary biologists now think that the human brain evolved not to find the truth, but to win arguments. You see, if you think there's any truth in that, then we're in for some trouble. So the only thing to do is to try and get a little bit calm and get rid of a lot of the economists who have taught us to think that the only important thing in life is money. And you see that in London now, I think. You see these very driven people racing around looking grim and anxious. And then you come here and you see people in the streets with a much less luxurious kind of life, looking a lot happier.
Straight ahead, please, sir. Keep coming to the... Going, please. Keep coming. And
over to your right, sir, please.
Come here.
And quick look under.
The problem is we have no idea what the effect of Brexit will be. I mean, the governor of the Bank of England a few years ago, he's now retired, called Lord Mervyn King, said recently he thought it would be another 5 years before we knew whether it was basically a good thing or a bad thing. I think that's the gist of what he said. And I've always felt that. And one of the disappointing things about England is that the two sides are so entrenched and are really just rude about the other side. And I say to everyone, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. Don't tell me that I'm a bad person, because I advocated at one point, I said I would vote for Brexit because I'm fed up with the European Commission. What you can do sometimes is you can make fun of certain people and certain attitudes. Attitudes is important, and make them less tenable for a lot of people. And I think that's the good that we can do. And I think the late night shows, of course, they are what we say preaching to the converted, preaching to the choir, the Americans say. But nevertheless, I think it creates a bit of an atmosphere.
John, can you just look up to your right when you're signing, please?
The first thing I wanted to do in terms of a sitcom for over 40 years. It was a very happy experience because I liked the crew and the cast so much. They were lovely people, but it was not terribly efficient. And I think we shot for very long days. And at 77, I don't want to work from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, you know, because after 2 days, I'm tired and I'm not doing my best work. So the process was unsatisfactory and the people were lovely. But I gathered the results are very good. And the funny thing is that the character is very like me, that I'm playing in real life. And I don't know why Charles, whether he had any idea what I'm really like, but I just sit around most of the time making sarcastic remarks. And the character is exactly like that. So I'm very pleased I've done it. But otherwise, to do money, I do stage shows, because it's the most reliable form of income. You don't have to wait for anyone to telephone you. You can set it up in advance.